Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check this week's challenge arena, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you need the content. So, I'm just gonna do some comments and I'm gonna do one run with one of the characters. It is fairly simple for the most part, so let's get right into it. So, let's start with the most difficult one. And why do I say it's difficult? It's because this is very OP and I don't know how the score works, but I obliterated this, and even so I didn't manage to get all the points. Maybe you need to do a certain amount of hits, use your ulti, I don't know, I'm not sure, but well, I had to try this 3 times to get the perfect score. So let's start with Ragnarok. Ragnarok is extremely busted with this build. She has the ambitious weapon. She has 3 limited supporters. This increases her damage tremendously, and this one is going to increase her critical rate. Unfortunately, there's one big issue here. Well, technically 2. Number 1, this supporter in particular is going to consume particles, which means you're not going to do the ulti. Probably you're not going to use the ulti. And the other thing is that it doesn't have an active. It has a passive, yeah, and you can deal damage. It says each time you receive HP restoration, summon a gem dealing damage. Yeah, it's better to have just an AoE damaging passive rather than that. And what skills does she have? She has Frosty Gale, the ranged basic enhancer, Frost Wind, which is an AoE in front, and Icicle Zone. But basically, truth be told, you're only going to use these 3 skills. The thing with Ragnarok is that you need to position properly and you need to let the enemies get near you. There are some ranged enemies and you want to go like midway. You don't want to go too far nor too close, so the enemies come in your direction and they can just you can just use Frosty Gale followed by Frost Wind, and that way you're going to eliminate all the enemies. And whatever enemies you weren't able to hit, just do the basics and that should be it, honestly. There's also the ability, there's also the option for you to position near the next spawn point for the enemies, and you just do a perfect dodge when they attack and you create the icicle zone. But honestly, it's way better to just use these 3 skills. In the case of Asuka is fairly simple for the most part. You just need to use Wind God Slicer and the basics. And when you see when you can, you're gonna use missiles, killable missiles, paired with Mach Impact. The thing is, the enemies, since some of them are kind of mid-range, they don't always come in front of you, and the spawning position is not ideal for Mach Impact. That's why we abuse Slice Zone. But other than that, it's fine. It's a very simple strategy that you have to do with this one. The weapon is only a healing attack, so that's about it. It's the healing property on killable missiles, and it also increases the damage. But this is not, let's say, the best skill for wave clearing. And for the supporters, we have Darkson Asteroid with a usable AoE attack with Torajiro and Suruga. And then we have Sakura. We go with Red Sakura here. Sakura is the most convoluted of the bunch. I managed to do this in one run, I think, but it was kind of weird. So let me explain. So we have a generic damage increase, that's fine. And then we have Sora, which is damage on a random enemy after using a character skill. So basically you want to spam your skills as much as possible. So you have to be conscious about your skill usage. And not only that, you also have over here Urha Read that increases your damage and reduces damage taken. But the extra passive is going to summon a lightning every 15 seconds and deal damage to the enemy. So this build is pretty wacky because it revolves around damage to the enemies dealt by the supporter, not by your skills themselves. I mean, yeah, you use your skills, sure, to deal damage, but since the enemies are spread and your AoE is usable, but it's not big enough to cover a wide area to hit all enemies. So you are going to rely a ton on these two effects. And don't forget to use the active also. That's going to be very useful because you summon an AoE that is going to deal damage to the enemies. And then the weapon. Yeah, we also are going to take advantage of the weapon because this one is going to summon the shark to deal extra damage. So, yeah. And for the skills, we have Nether Dive, which is a medium-sized AoE where you stand. Shadow Spin, which is a dash attack, and Shadow Tangle, which is the snare skill. But what's the issue with this one? That you don't want to snare the enemies. You actually want them to gather, and once gather, you can snare them, sure. But you also want to use your skills as much as possible in order to use Sora's effect. So yeah, use it. And we have the basic enhancer, Just Cause. So yeah, it's fairly simple for the most part. Let's go with Asuka. I mean, I could do the 3 runs, but a part of the fun is letting you guys try the strategies and see how good you are with them. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you their runs, but I think it's more fun this way. Just to give some tips and let you do your own thing to see if you can manage. For the most part, it has been fairly simple. I don't think it is that much of a challenge. It is a nice way to test strategies, to test characters, and check different weapons, supporters, and such. Which honestly, it's fine for the most part. I really like that. Okay, yeah, like that. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Oops. Yeah, as I tell you, the basics are very, very useful. Okay, there, come on. Like that. And I just dodge like this. And kill them all missiles. And basics. A bit more Mac Impact. And a bit of basics. And there we go. And I just use the ultimate and that's it. Done. Let's see if I manage to reach the score. Yeah, pretty good. A new record. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, it is fairly simple as long as you understand. This one wants to abuse both the basic and the wind slicer for the small mobs, and for the tough ones you want to use kill them all missiles and max impact. And this one is all about abusing Frosty Gale and Frostwind, paired with the basic enhancer just to clear whatever you survives, whatever survives. And this one is wacky because you want to be in the middle of the stage, or well, in the middle of the enemies. Use Nether Dive to hit as many as you can. Then use Shadow Tangle to deal damage with Sora, and also the passive from Rain, and also use the active of Rain, and then you use Shadow Spin. As I tell you, this one is the wacky one, but it works somehow. Well, anyways, that's about it for today. I hope you found this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!